People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. We've obviously just won 4-0 against Standard Liège, so I might as well review the player ratings for you guys, or in my opinion, who played well. Now, really and truly, it was near enough a perfect performance. I say near enough because you can only play what's in front of you, people. But I believe I have to discount a bit for the opposition we played. No disrespect to them. I just feel they didn't really pose a threat. It weren't one of them games, innit? Clean sheet. We made 10 changes. We kept a clean sheet. We scored 4 goals. The young players rampaged up the place. What more can I ask for? Everybody walked away from the game injury-free. I can't ask for nothing more, people. We can move on to Bournemouth and think purely about Bournemouth and what that result potentially has in store for Arsenal and Arsenal fans. But yeah, in regards to the player ratings, going to give Martinez a 9. Not much he could do. Was equal to what he had to be. The one highlight, I'd say, there was one set piece in the first half that I felt could have troubled us. But literally, that's it from Standard Liège. But Martinez was equal to that. So he gets a 9. I'll give Mustafi a 7. I think Mustafi, again, he wasn't troubled. He obviously was involved in the first. Like, credit where due, he was decent. So he gets a 7. I'll give Holding a 7. Like Mustafi had a good game. The passing was there. He looked sharper. Don't know if he'll play on the weekend. He would for me. But he looks decent for me, people. He weren't really troubled. Didn't have nothing to do. The one kind of nervy moment was, I can't remember who kind of played a poor pass back. I don't even know who it was. But someone played a poor pass and Holding kept it on from being a corner. And doing that, the Standard Liège man got it. Now, the lack of quality showed for the opposition. But that's only it, and that weren't Holding's fault necessarily. So he gets a 7. I'll give Kieran Tierney is it an 8 or a 9? My first initial thought was an 8, but I'm probably going to change it to a 9. It was an encouraging performance by him. Good crosses, obviously got an assist. Like to see him back up his teammate Martinelli when people were trying to pick on him. Tierney looks fresh and ready to go, man, and I mean, how can you not play him against Bournemouth again? He's still working his way back to fitness. Prior to today, he didn't have really that many minutes under his belt. So we don't want anyone to suffer a setback. But you'd like to think, tomorrow, they might come in for a recovery session. We're in there in the jacuzzi and getting massages. Saturday, a light session. Surely he's good to go on Sunday. Kolasinac has some serious pressure right now for his team, for his shirt, really and truly, people. There's no way around it. I would start Tierney against Bournemouth, but we'll have to see what happens, people. So he gets a 9. I'll give Ceballos a 9. I think Ceballos, at times he can release it a bit earlier, but I think he was quality today, man. He obviously scored. I think he was all over the place. He showed his lovely technical abilities. One criticism at times, like he fashions a lot of space. I just think shoot, but I say that about every Arsenal player. So he gets a 9. I give Torreira a 7. I can't lie, people. I feel Torreira was a bit quiet today, you know. Like, I feel his passes, we play a couple stray passes. I don't feel he was appalling, but I do think he could play much better. So he gets a 7. I give Maitland-Niles a 6. Now, it was going to be a 5, but a bonus point for being involved in one of the goals. I know he wants to play right wing, but I don't think it's going to happen for you. You're a central midfielder, and you're quite ineffective on that side. I think Bellerin being quite rusty, not believing in your capabilities necessarily as a winger. I feel there was a real direct contrast between the threat. We don't get twisted, it was a threat down the right, but I just feel down the left with Nelson and Tierney compared to Maitland-Niles and Bellerin, there was a contrast. We looked really devastating down that left-hand side, and I swear 3 of the 4 goals came from there. Ironically, Maitland-Niles was involved with the one goal that obviously he played Martinelli in. Martinelli stood it up and Ceballos scored. But yeah, he gets a 6. Bellerin gets a 6. Potentially see why Emery and the coaching staff haven't thrown him in. He wasn't terrible. He was quite good today, but he's just showing he's not quite there yet. He's still a bit rusty. Potentially needs to sit this game week against Bournemouth out. I don't know if he should get 23 minutes at the weekend or whatever, but you'd like to think he'll be good to go in the next week or so, but he looked a bit rusty today in several incidences. I mean, he's getting there, but he's clearly not all the way there. So he gets a 6. Martinelli gets a 10, people. I mean, he's a young player, humble beginnings in Brazil. 2 goals. For me, his goals were good, but forget his goals. For me, what excites me is the movement, people. There is a lot that can be done with coaching and coaching movement, and it's scary because he seems, when players are just born to have certain things. I genuinely believe players are born with, and he was born with that movement, that proactiveness. He's obviously not the strongest of players yet, but his goals, he's always well taken finishes. He always gets into nice pockets of spaces to have half chances if he's not scoring. When someone else scores, he isn't far from the crime scene. I really like how he moves, man. He's a bit like Suarez and Aguero. I'm not comparing him to them in the sense that they're always proactive in their movement. They've got elite movement, and if he can try and model someone like Cavani, if he's to play up front in terms of the movement, it'll be crazy, man. I think he looks mad. I do think he's still a bit starstruck in the sense that we're still waiting for that bravado to come out. He's still looking to his senior teammates a bit more on the ball and still, I wouldn't say unsure, but I did see a couple of safe passes. For instance, I can't remember the first or second half, but we was on the break, and if all he had to do, because he done it a couple of times, just slip in Nelson and Nelson can break, he elected to pass it back. And that allowed Standard Liège, obviously, people to get back into position. But I think Martinelli gets a 10. I'll give Nelson, should I give him an 8 or a 9? Give him a 9, man, because he was an encourager. He should be an 8, but I'll give him a bonus point because fans have been on his back, man. I think he put in an encouraged performance. He got down the flanks well. He was a threat today, man. I think I prefer him on the right now. I don't mind him on the left, but he probably will be better on the right, but I think he put in a good performance, man, and it shows fans shouldn't write him off, man. He was decent today. I got a lot of time for Reece Nelson, and between him, Martinelli and Saka, if we can integrate all of these players, we can have some good options. We've got Joe as well in the midfield. Maitland-Niles is a utility man of some sort. Some other young players will be in and around sooner or later. It's good to hear, man. It's good to see as well from our team, man. If I haven't, I'll give Joe an 8. I'll give Nelson a 9. I'll give Joe a 9, I guess, as well, because I was going to give him an 8, but I'll give him a 9. I feel Joe, the only criticism I have is these bursting runs are lovely, whether it's off the ball, when he drives forward with the ball. The only criticism is as he gets more established into the team, could you potentially pick out an option quicker? Could you potentially have more quality on the final ball? But he scored, he was involved today, and it's another encouraging performance from Joe. I don't think it was Joe's best performance because he's definitely played better like against Liverpool, but he was good today. All the young players were good today, man. So what more can I say? I don't think I'm missing anyone else out. Obviously, Pepe or Aubameyang came off the bench, and I'm missing someone else out who potentially came off the bench. Pepe or Aubameyang. Who else came off the bench? Pepe or Aubameyang? Let me check people's bugging me, I'm not going to lie. Did we even use all 3 subs? That's it, Guendouzi. I knew Guendouzi came on, and it was lovely to see Guendouzi back in Martinelli as well. But apologies for that delay, people. It was really just bugging me. On that note, though, that's my player ratings. Please, I'd love to hear yours. So get in the comments, subscribe. Make sure you check out the description. Check out the Deluded podcast. You don't need to show that love, man. You haven't been showing it as much love as the YouTube. So make sure you hit that up. On that note, people, God bless. Deluded. I'm out.